We know from John Bunyan himself that he grew up in a poor family home. His father, he says, being of that rank that is the meanest and most despised of all the families in the land. This might have been a slight exaggeration on his part, but the family would have lived like their neighbours, with only the basic necessities in their home. In the 1600s, people had to rely on what could be grown and gathered from around and about. Their daily diet would include spinach and sorrel, as well as fruits and nuts found in the wild. John Bunyan's mother, Margaret, would also most probably cook up a pottage using the above ingredients and adding grains, beans and lentils daily to provide for her family. But what utensils would be found in the kitchen to serve up the food? We're going to have a look at a few items which would have been common in most kitchens at that time. This is a plain wooden bowl which John might have used. Obviously, everything was made from natural materials, and this sturdy bowl would have been durable and easy to store. Things couldn't be replaced easily or cheaply and were functional in the poorer homes, where decoration was a luxury. This flat plate is also made from wood. With trees being plentiful, wood was an obvious material to use for many items and furniture found in the poorer homes. This would probably have held hunks of bread that would be usual with most meals. As a variation on the wooden bowl, this little potager or porringer might also pop up in the poorer kitchen. It would be more costly than its wooden cousin, because it would need to be fired after making. Its only decoration is the little heart shape cut into the handle. Additional colour or patterns on ceramic plates would put the price up beyond the reach of most poor families. This photo shows a dish made of another material. This is a delightful artefact to handle, and a mere photograph doesn't really do it justice. At first glance, it looks and feels as if it's made of plastic, but of course, only natural materials were available in the time of John Bunyan, and this little dish is actually made from cow horn, a common enough material in those days. The cow horn could be heated and moulded into different shapes, and could be used to make a variety of very useful and hard-wearing household items, including this lovely little spoon. If the horn was heated and stretched enough, it could come transparent and could then be used instead of glass, although of course only the wealthy would be able to afford this. Cooking was a fairly basic process in the 1600s. A small cottage would have a fire to provide warmth, light and heat for the preparation of food. A ceramic pan could be used to heat a stew, amongst other things, over the family fire. Mrs. Bunyan would know where to place her pan on and around the fire to cook slowly or heat through, depending on what was required. Again, this pan was a plain sturdy pan, which would be expected to last a good time. We know that as he grew older and became a tinker himself, John Bunyan would visit wealthier homes and would see how the other half lived. Here is a selection of items he might have come across, possibly at Houghton House, his model for House Beautiful in Pilgrim's Progress. Another plate, but this time a beautifully decorated one. This is Delftware from Holland and would have been expensive to buy, both because it needed to be imported and because the process needed to decorate it was complex. Delftware was highly prized and generally put on display to impress your visitors. This plate is made from pewter, a mixture of lead and tin. Again, it would be expensive to buy and needed careful handling as it was easy to dent. This, however, made it easy to embellish with patterns or fancy handles on jugs or tankards. John Bunyan may well have made or mended this type of utensil when he worked at the wealthier houses. Our final object is a two-pronged fork made from brass. Up until the 1600s, most people used a knife both to cut their food and transport it into their mouths. Around the time of John Bunyan, wealthier people were beginning to adopt the safer way of feeding themselves, having imported the fork from France. Obviously, this was not an affordable option for poorer classes, and the fork was not more universally used for another 100 years. I hope you have enjoyed having a look at a small selection of the items we hold in our handling collection at the John Bunyan Museum.